Testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now we should be live. Finally, yes. Late. I was there 3,000 years ago when the stream was about to start. God damn it, we suck. No. Listen. I just thought, I thought I set my alarm for the right time, but I didn't, and now I'm still an EP boy, because I'm waking up still. I'm waking up. I'm waking up. But today we're here for Dev Diary number 4 to discuss the Age of Discovery. Woo. Sure. Right. I am very curious what they'll discuss here exactly because there's been like people adjusted their sleep schedule to catch a stream. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I need to schedule streams ahead of time more often. I know this. I know this. It's just been a little harder for me to properly schedule them these days. Hello, Matfer. Hello. Yes. I'm sorry I haven't been scheduling them or doing them as often lately. Right. But it's good to see you all. I apologize for the delays, but it's a pleasure to see you all here, despite my silliness. Look, oh, that's a big old block of text there. Okay. Me. Welcome back to another exciting development diary for EU5. This week, we'll be diving into one of the most iconic and transformative aspects of the era, exploration and colonization. From the first daring expeditions into the unknown seas to the rise of sprawling colonial empires and global trade networks, this system aims to capture the ambition, risks, and rewards of charting the wider world. Ah, such flavor text, much wow. Can earn her forgiveness by taking his shirt off. There we go. Hope I've earned your forgiveness now. Right. Between the 15th and 19th centuries. Oh, that's enough of the global text. Of the flavor text. Yes, exotic goods, sugar and spices. Yes, everyone wants the same polo discovery. Yes. Risks and words associated with it. Well, I don't know what the risks, I guess, are. The risks are that you start colonizing and then someone yoinks your colonies, I guess. Well, the game doesn't exactly have risks the the Scottish colonizing Panama, where you'll be colonizing and then somehow it'll just get ruined. Yes, and yeah, with the pop and character system, exploration and colonization reaches a new level of depth. I definitely agree. It's gonna be one thing as someone who, on my server, we run lots of mega campaigns. It's a pretty common thing that we'll have a mega campaign going of Paradox games. However, it's very rare that we get I say very rare. We've only done 2. We just haven't actually finished any of them. They both ended at Vic 3. Very sad. This game is going to change the way that mega campaigns feel and that people aim for them a lot because we have a lot of people in our server who, when we do mega campaigns, want they want to do Exodus nations, but that's not really so feasible in EU5 as it is in 4. Expensive and you invest pops, so if someone steals your colony, it's a big loss. Yes, yes, it is definitely a big loss if you lose one. Sure. Giga campaigns. Yes, I do love Giga campaigns indeed. I love Giga campaigns even more when they actually finish. But, hmm, yes, we have people that like to do quote unquote Exodus nations, and an Exodus nation is not really quite so feasible because the Ireland Exodus meta is going to be so no, no. I know you're goofing, Rasak. Because that's just not something that's really going to be. Uh, no, imagine playing outside of Europe in an MP. Matt for I bet. See, see in current mega campaigns, including like EU4. Playing in China or India is the strongest because they have so much dev in CK3 and EU4, and then they also get just most of the world's pops in Vic 3. So they're just the strongest regions as long as you can keep up in tech. Still have more pops than the natives. Yeah, yeah. You don't. It's the colony doesn't. Okay, I'm getting cold. I'm putting my turtleneck back on. The initial investment in a colony isn't huge, and the colony will grow on its own over time. But the problem is that you're also still going to be passively going to be migrating more pops to the colonies as well. Talking about EU4, who the hell plays this Ming? Uh. People don't play as Ming. They'll play next to China and they'll conquer it. It's been for anyone who was watching my mega campaign Victoria 3 game on those streams, um, it was they would know that there was a big problem that people were facing because in EU4, Japan and Russia had conquered almost all of China. They split it between each other and started culturally converting it in EU4. Uh, and also a couple other powers just grabbed little slivers of China. And all of that, like that was where most of these people's populations were. It was like you would have Scandinavia. You had the player playing Scandinavia. He had the entirety of Scandinavia, and he had Vinland and stuff too, like Canada. But all of the rest of his empire combined wasn't even like a tenth the population that he had in a single Chinese state. So it's really bad for the health and sandbox of a mega campaign. The fact that China and India have so much more pops than the rest of the map. So what this rant is to say is that uh, there's a lot of things related to population that EU5 is going to screw with for the um it's going to really screw with over the course of these games because um in Vic 3 and Hearts of Iron, China pops make everywhere else feel pointless. Wait, Hearts of Iron too? In Hearts of Iron, China is really important? Oh, didn't know that. Because I don't play Hearts of Iron. That's why all players should be relatively close to each other at the same distance from one another in EU4. Well, the thing that we're attempting, we're curious about, Matt, for um We're hoping that, and by what we're hoping, I hope that in in CK3, with the fact that All Under Heaven is going to come out, so you'll actually have China on the map. I'm hoping that with All Under Heaven coming out, the world map, when you convert from CK3 to EU4, I'm hoping that it will convert the pops, like it'll convert your development into pops, and you'll be able to be like, all right, global variable, um, development, then this much development equals this many pops, that kind of thing, and because that's basically how that's a setting. That's a setting that you can turn on in EU4, but I'm hoping that you'll be able to do a similar thing where you know, China has a lot of development at game start in CK3, sure, but theoretically, a player will be able to dev up any other region if if they're a player that's good at playing tall and they focus on that, they'll be able to dev up their homeland and actually get a lot of pops in wherever they're playing too. Yeah, from CK3 to EU5. From CK3 to EU5, hopefully they'll be able to hopefully the pop development there will work interestingly. So that you'll actually be able to in CK3 work and get your population at the start of EU5 to be interesting in a CK3 to EU5 mega campaign situation. Own a little of China eventless manpower in Hearts of Iron. I don't know how manpower works in Hearts of Iron, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. In EU5, it's less of a problem. The culture system makes it harder to use said pops. It would, um, yeah, I guess so. I guess if you're conquering lands with huge numbers of pops, it would take a lot longer to culturally convert them. That's true. That does make it distinctly less of an issue. I imagine that yeah, it would be less bad. Um, but hmm. Greetings, AIM. Greetings, AIM. Well, Matt, we'll just need to see how the CK3 converter works, how CK3 into U5 works, and what the different settings will be that you can turn on. Um, I think that what it will do in general is make China have less pops and the rest of the world have slightly more at game start than they otherwise would. But yeah, the EU4 converter to VIC3, it's based, there's different settings that you can use in the EU4 to VIC3 converter, some of which, you can decide, um, you can turn on a setting for, I want to convert 1-to-1 globally, where all the pops convert, um, just from their um, based on EU4 development. It's purely based on development. And but then the problem with that is that there's issues with not the places not having enough arable land to support the pops, and then it gets wonky. So regardless of what happens, the next mega campaign I run, I'm probably gonna need to mess around with arable land and stuff so that people can actually have larger numbers of pops by so you'll have situations where Scandinavia is going to have a ton of arable land because they'll dev it up and I just need to accommodate for that. But we'll see. That's enough talking about mega campaign stuff though. Uh, it was relatively relevant because it was mainly for the purpose of talking about how pops convert and how wonky it is. And the fact that in EU5, Exodus nations in general are going to be very bad because of populations. Can't wait to have 100 million pops in the EU5 because I devved up in CK3. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Ah, I. God damn it, Madford. I don't think that's going to be possible. I don't think that's going to be possible. 10 million, 100 million pops in Siberia. If you pull off getting 100 million pops worth of development, then all props to you, buddy. Max Div Steps, my favorite place to spell any Paradox game. Hey, one half of my family's Ukrainian, so I can appreciate a good step deving game. As long as you're playing as the correct Rus culture. Castile into Spain playthrough with New World domination in the early 1700s. So this is the game by, yeah, early 1700s. They've focused hard on colonizing the coastline, and there's presumably like Aragon or Morocco that's colonizing northeastern Brazil. Hmm. 1 billion pops. Yeah, sure. Sure. I don't think that's going to be happening, I'm afraid, James. Wonder if we can play as elephants in EU5? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Wonder if we could play as elephants. Yeah. This is a classic map for a question. You get there's two types of map for questions. You have the incredibly sarcastic ones like that, and then you've got the extremely niche map for a question for the devs about, well, actually it's incorrect that Lord Frumpily Lump is ruling that much land. He actually should be he should be a fiefdom vassal instead, and not technically ruling that tile as a normal vassal. He was under direct supervision from the king of Scrimply Dump, and as a result, it's just unrealistic that he's represented as an actual character ruling land like that. Um, have you played CK2? No, you can't understand it. What? What? Are you talking about how in CK2 you could get the horses? I don't remember there being a way that you can play as an elephant. I just remember a horse. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Glitterhoof. I don't remember any elephants. I just remember getting that Glitterhoof was someone that you could jank yourself into playing as a horse. Num 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 num. Mechanics of animals rule the world? Jeez. Well, yes, I'm going to be making a mod that where you can play as lobster men, but they're not lobsters, they're lobster men. It's different. There's a decent possibility that there will be a place where you can play as people that shapeshift into elephants, elephant humanoids of what would be enormous size, but that's different. It's not playing as an elephant. Also, we'll never get models for them, so when it comes to that race that shapeshifts, we're never gonna get any models for them, likely because I'm broke. I'm never gonna get someone to 3D model all that shit. So we made it so that that race in their base form is just very tall. They're very tall and have blank features, so it would be a race that you just see in their base form instead of the transformations where they just kind of look. They're all pale with flat and blank features and red eyes. You know. You can play as polar bears in EU4. I don't remember that. What the hell? What? I don't remember all this nonsense in CK2. John Mayen's not. Oh yeah, the bear has landed thing. That's the bear has landed code. You type in that and then it causes. It's something like the synthetics, I think, right? It's some other invasion. Yeah. Just to learn 3D modeling. Yeah, I'll get right on that. Listen, I know people who do 3D modeling, but one of them is a pal, and that pal of mine, he does 3D modeling as his job. So it would be really shitty of me to try poking him and being like, "Hello, friend of mine who knows 3D modeling and does it for his job. Hey, could you please make me like 15 million different 3D assets for free?" Ignore the spider song starting up. It's my ringtone. Right. Exploration is about more than simply revealing the map. It's about opportunity, ambition, and risk management. Yes, yes, yes. The ability to explore depends on your nation's technological advances, maritime presence, characters, and pops. An advanced seafaring nation will be able to chart safer, faster, and more ambitious expeditions, while reckless adventurers may risk lives and resources in pursuit of glory. So, I guess France colonizing and exploring is going to be more difficult because they're a land-based power as opposed to the Iberian powers in Britain. Exploration and colonization are part of the new geographical tab in EU5. It's in this page that you see all possible explorations, all ongoing colonizations, and possible places you can settle. The page also tells you your colonial range, the value of determining how far you can explore and colonize. Known world, 36%. I do love that. I do love the percentage of the known world. That's funny. Speak French is difficult in general. Jockman, you can pay your friend a single Canuck penny for every 3D model made. Yes, a single Canuck penny is worth like 5,000 United States pennies. It's crazy. I'm sure he'll be down for that. Um, I just now considered though. I just now like looking at the known world thing and being like, wow, I sure love the known world thing. I just came to the realization of, oh wait, you're gonna be playing EU5 with fantasy mods that have lots of underground regions, and like so you'll have stuff like the Serpent Spine in Anbanar, and then there's God forbid any fantasy mods, like because there's gonna be like a Warhammer mod, everyone knows that. So you'll have any fantasy mod that decides to do the thing where you tuck something in the corner, where you like you take like, oh, there's a pocket dimension, or this is the super deep underground Skaven Empire, and then you stick it in the corner, and yeah, so you with the that's the thing. If you invent fantasy satellites, how is that going to help you discover the Skaven Under Empire? So you'll like see like known world 90%, and it will take you until the very end of the game to see like 95 as you slowly start discovering random bits and bobs of like this thing that's tucked in the corner. Fantasy GPS. Okay, there we go. There we go. This fantasy GPS will help you discover the Skaven Under Empire. I'm sure. Yes, yes. That'll work out just fine. Cost of colonies plus 85%. I assume that's because of the sheer quantity of colonies. Having lots of colonies making the cost of colonies go up, and then colonial migration. Because yeah, there's 8 colonies right now. Yeah, yeah, 8 colonial charters, so 85% increase to cost. Plus 10,000 colonial range. So that's actually an interesting thing, Rosak. Um, because you're not going to be able to colonize stuff that you're not connected to by land or sea. And I have there's a particular region in my setting that I intend for people to colonize, or originally my plan was for people to be able to try and colonize, but plans changed. It was basically a case of we coincidentally changed our plans because we initially wanted for it to be a region that you can colonize that's inland, but then we realized, wait, no, there'll be like 3 tags that can reach it by land. So then we changed it to using when we realized that um, the conquistadors and such will exist. Instead, people are going to be using conquistadors and building based countries and such as that'll be like vassals of theirs to subjugate it, which will be neat. Teleportation spells. Oh my gosh, you're right. Just spells. Just use spells. Y'all know that there's gonna be some mods out there that like get some insane buffs. You will have some stupid buffs from Magic in this. Um, just slash TP. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I After this stream, I'm gonna be streaming the pre-release build of the Anbanar Vicky 3 mod, and the Anbanar Vicky 3 mod it does something I really like with Magic, and it has my preferred Magic system as opposed to the way that Anbanar EU4 does it, where Anbanar EU4 makes the Magic an active system where you'll like go and you go to your mage estate and then you flip through their list of spells and then you click cast spell, and they're reworking it now, but it still is that active system where you pick a spell that you cast, and it's gonna be tied to a mana system, and it's like, eh, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right to me that you, as the ruler of a country, are going to your mages and being like, all right, mages, how much mana do you have? All right, you've got this much mana. And I, as the ruler of the country, have this much mana. All right, we're going to cast all of these spells and use up our mana for it. Because yeah, that makes sense in a fantasy setting that you're doing that, but it feels wrong when you're the ruler of a country that you're looking at that. And it makes much more sense to me the way that their Vicky 3 mod is doing it, where they've got a like a bar for like how you have like a supply of this a supply of magic expertise, and you expend it based on how large your country is. The cost goes up for how much magical expertise you can expend on just a passive spells that you're using across your country. The rework seems really good. Magical infrastructure, yeah, it does feel really cool, but it's also so game defining. I'm playing in a multiplayer game right now, and the magic system it just it completely dominates the game. Same with the artificery system, which is like, sure, I get it. You know, it's fantasy mod. You want to make it very important. I personally I don't want magic to be a case of you need this to do well. I want it to be a case of you can choose magic. You choose to do magic as opposed to something else. I intend. What I'm gonna try and do. I don't know how exactly it's gonna work, but I intend for there to be a slider between magic and industry, and there won't be a case of on one side is magic and the other side is artificery. I don't think so, at least. I think I want to lump magic all on the same side. Don't know, but I intend to make industry. I want to make it just like, you know, grit and mundane means more valuable as well, so that they can actually compete. Would you be a gnome or kobold in Anbenar? The Arden is basically Western Canada. Ah, so like the place that I live would be like the Yin. Yeah, realistically, I'm from the Yin Valley. Uh, yeah. Um, so I'd be one of those river worshippers, I guess. Yeah. Either that, or I'd be one of I'd probably be one of the natives off to the side of it. You can invest in the magical systems that may result in return on that investment. You can invest in the magical systems that may result in a return on that investment. You mean you mean you're saying Ibit that investing in magic versus investing in industry? Investing in magic versus investing in industry. Yeah. Yes. The magic system in EU4 is about modifier stacking because stacking modifiers is what makes you strong and powerful and feel good in EU4. That's a good point. I shouldn't disrespect it. It's appropriate for the way that EU4 works. I just don't like EU4's vibe as much as the. I adore EU4, but I don't. It's not the vibe I crave as much as. Honestly, even though Vicky 3 is kind of crusty, I like the vibe more of what it goes for, and definitely U5. But yeah, talking about investing in magic versus investing in industry, I want I want to do for my mod, I want it to be a societal value because in EU5 you get societal values, land versus naval, spiritual versus humanist. I intend to make it a magic versus industry, and I want that to be a clear choice throughout the game that you can choose to focus on magic or industry. Hope EU5s give modders more stuff than just modifier stacking, since it has so much more mechanics to play with. Even the devs forgot about someone talking about the game. Yes, they do. And the content creator, Nathaniel, this is the most tragic thing where you'll be watching a content creator talk about the game. Like, listen, I forget stuff, sure. But sometimes it genuinely feels like the people who are playing the game know less about the game than me. And it makes me so just like, it makes me so just like bounce up and down, just like scream, because I'll be seeing some of these people with early access doing their AARs, and they'll be talking about stuff, and they'll be like, I don't know, uh, yeah, the new world. There was someone was talking about how like the new world is populated by there's these weird like countries that they exist but they don't own land. I don't know. And like and then someone in their AAR chat was like, oh you just said like you mean SOPs? And he's like, what's an SOP? And I was just like, he doesn't know. He doesn't know what an SOP is. No, because here I've been so desperate for any crumb of information. Not all EU5 creators are theory nerds. No, it's true. It's true. Not everyone is. I am not a theory nerd in so much as okay. No. I would be. Uh, but generalist is the best, and he has access to the game as well. If I had access to the game, I would try to be doing what a generalist does, but that is simply not the case. I do not have that ability. Maybe once the game comes out, I'll do some number crunching stuff. However, the fact that I mod means that might not be feasible. Maybe I should focus on my own niche more and discuss the modding side of the game. Hope EU5 sales are better than EU4 around launch. There's no doubt. No doubt. EU5 is such a flagship game now. The way I always describe it to people, how on earth am I going to say your name? Merkinkrol. Merkinkrol. I've seen you before, but I still don't know how to say your name. Merkinkrol. Uh, The way I always describe it to people is that Hearts of Iron might be their most popular game, but EU4 is their most famous game. Once EU5 comes out, it will have built up, and it is building up, such a ludicrous hype for the franchise. It will do incredibly well. Mind you, it will bring in a lot of new people to the franchise probably, and then they will immediately drop off because the game has a very steep learning curve. EU5 to me it looks like a game that's much easier than EU4. However, it's more complicated. So you will look at the game and it looks terrifying, but you need to just spend a little bit of time before it just makes sense. If that is logical. I feel like the game looks a lot more complicated, but it isn't. Or rather it is, but you just don't need to worry about most of the complicated. Literally Oh yeah. Yeah, Habibi. Habibi. Yeah. Yeah. He he's not Habibi and Red Hawk. There's a few people. Habibi, Red Hawk, and no, there's I think in general people are liking the game. No, I was gonna say that I was gonna start just listing off names of people who really like blobbing. Zlewick is another one, of course. Those folks who are really good at EU4 and the blobbing mechanics and just the unga badunga. Um, I was about to say that they won't like EU5 and that they just don't know it, and but only one part of that's true. They don't really know EU5 very well, and the reason they don't know EU5 very well is because they try to play like EU4. And for those of you who saw it, Playmaker just the other day made a new AAR, a very short one where he was talking about Portugal, which is I'm thinking about that. It's on the screen in front of me. He did a new AAR talking about Portugal, and it was very interesting to watch because he was talking about how he'd spoken with Generalist, and he basically had his eyes open, or like he'd been playing the game in such a different way than how EU5 wants you to play it. And suddenly everything starts like all the numbers start fitting together to him, and he starts figuring out how to use Navy to his advantage, and proximity is just working for him, and it's like yeah, that looks so cool. I want that feeling. I want that feeling that he had there, where he was excitedly talking to his chat about like, yo, I just started building towns along the coast and building all up the ports, and my proximity was working, and just and the industry was valuable and stuff, and it's like yes, yes. Don't get how you're gonna play an MP game without people talking your ear off while you have to keep out for 20 different supply chains in your country. Okay, and Nathaniel, what's another thing I've learned from watching people's AARs is that at the moment you don't need to worry about your pops starving, which is kind of bad. I don't like that. Your pops will just forcibly buy enough food so they won't starve, which is a problem. I'm expecting they'll have that changed and that it's just a band-aid for pre-release, but that after it's out they'll actually fix that and pops will be able to starve. But right now, pops just will forcibly get themselves enough food, which is very, very bad because I have like the whole point of the game start of my mod is that pops are supposed to be starving. So I really don't want there to be a situation where at game start in my mod, there's a population crowding issue and there's not enough food to go around, and it's just like, they just magic up enough food. Yeah, Playmaker found out how boats work on stream, and it's hilarious just him talking about that feeling. It's so cool. Jeffrey, what do you think of minor powers colonizing? I like minor powers colonizing because historically minor powers did. Minor powers did colonize historically. They just didn't get to keep the colonies. The Dutch colonized historically. The Danish colonized historically. Even the bloody Knights Hospitaller, who I'm also fanboys of, the bloody Knights Hospitaller tried to colonize. They just got instantly bought out. They tried to, but then a larger power rocked up and was like, no, 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 you can't be here. And they're like, what are we gonna do about it? Nothing. And then they got their land yoinked. Learning curve is something you're hoping you're hearing about EU4 before Leviathan. Yeah, yeah, yeah. EU4 has a lot of stuff you can do, but very few of them matter. What EU5, each game mechanic can kill you. Yeah, that's true. That is one of the weirdest things. Out of water. I'm gonna resort to pop now. But yeah, EU4 is a game that's very weird to try and introduce people to because so little of the mechanics actually like matter with how like when you're just trying to play the game casually. There's like when you're trying to play it competitively, it's just it's a miserable game when you try and play EU4 competitively and even get to the mid game. Competitive EU4 is only fun at the beginning. But EU5 competitive, where you're going to be having people sending humongous levied armies at each other, and their nations are actually depopulating as you fight. Now that sounds intriguing indeed. Am I getting? No. Okay. Yeah, I know Eric. Yeah, I have watched. Yeah, I saw. I was. Yeah, I was watching all the AARs, and I would see you in every time in the comment section trying to explain stuff to him. That was some of the most funny stuff, Eric. Seeing you explain to him, because like it's the weirdest thing because he has his hands on the game, but he doesn't know anything about the Tinto talks. That's the weirdest thing. He never like read any of them. So like when he's doing his AARs, he asks other people to tell him which Tinto talk to go to for like maps because he just doesn't know. It's like no, why? It's like Eric is someone who's been reading the hell out of these. Eric's been everywhere, but you gotta listen. So you gotta listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. Boats are good stuff. Like we were talking about Denmark, for example. I think Denmark is gonna like it starts off really crappy, but Denmark as the game goes on with its buffs to maritime presence and proximity over the ocean, that's gonna be so good. Denmark is gonna be amazing for controlling the Baltic. And then he just but then Playmaker just moves his capital inland to some shithole. Ah. uh, playing as minor powers colonizing. Only in EU4 you're always beaten by majors. Recommendations. Yeah, it's very you want a recommendation for playing a minor power that colonizes in EU4? You got to play the Dutch. That's got to be the Dutch then. If you're struggling, the Dutch are your best bet. That is the best bet you've got. The Dutch or Morocco. Morocco is my favorite. Morocco is probably my favorite. Um, like so real. Oh, without much DLC. I see. Um, if you're not doing like the mission tree, yeah, if you don't have all that mission tree stuff, I honestly I'd give Morocco a try if I were you. Morocco is a very good country. I think it's going to be a very good country for learning the game in EU5 as well, because they're going to be they're going to be one of the first countries I play, if not the first, because they're going to be so good for learning some fundamental mechanics about building up a country. And having to actually worry about different climates and stuff. I think it's gonna be great. Yeah, yeah. But you're saying yes, the ridiculous bonuses that Denmark gets, it's kind of nuts. Um, there's so um there's just it is ridiculous how many bonuses they get to boats and the economy, which is the most important stuff. Um, Mali is going to be good. The problem with Mali is apparently, according to generalists, yeah, Mali's going to be kind of rough for the fact that they so much of their land is arid, though, so they're not going to get as much out of the intercontinental trade. as other people, but still, Mali's probably going to be a very strong country. They're held back by some things, but they'll be very strong. They're honestly, I feel like they probably have more potential than most European countries. I'm going to be on. Did they remove the Kamchatka nations? I think they're still existing as societies of pops. I don't think they're not landed countries anymore, but they're societies of pops. Oh, oh, there was something I remember. There was. Oh yeah, the Teutonic Order are going to be very strong. The Teutonic Order are going to be an incredibly strong country to play. Um, Mamluks. What was I talking about? Societies of Pops. Yeah, we're getting very sidetracked. Um, I if we're getting so sidetracked, I'm gonna need to delay my stream of I'm gonna need to delay my stream of Vicky 3 Anbanar because we're almost we're gonna take too long getting started with this. I gave myself extra time. Wait. Oh no, I set it for only 11 minutes from now. Oh damn. um so, playing as a weakest Native American tribe. Yeah, the that's the best way to send off EU4. Joffrey Joffrey plays. I can see it now. Joffrey plays the Blackfoot and tries to survive in EU4. Yes, yes. Um, Mind you, the Blackfoot don't exist. They're not a playable country, but I'll mod them in to EU5. But I can play them in EU4. Playmaker casually mentions, yeah. They're exactly, Matt. That's what I. Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to bring up. He casually says, "Oh yeah. They're playable." But I don't. But like the problem with that, yeah, because he says it so casually, and it's Playmaker. So, and he never played as any of them. So I'm not convinced that he actually went to the nation select screen, saw that they existed, clicked on them, and then clicked start. I'm not convinced he did that. And I am so annoyed because I really want to play them. Thank you for reading my mind. I really want to play them. I want I want to struggle and just force myself into existence as the Sapmi. I really want to play as the Sapmi or the Finns and just force myself into existence as this weak tribal nation and try to build up a proper nation state in the Arctic. I want to do it. Same as those Kamchatkan nations. As Mercanthrall is saying, I want I would really love to play as those Kamchatkan, Siberian, and such nations. Um, uh, don't know if he got that wrong. Pretty sure he's wrong. Would be shocked if he just meant. Would not be shocked if he just meant Native nations. That's probably true. That's that's probably true. There's a good chance that he just meant that and is just referring to like Cahokia. I don't know. Convinced I'm convinced. Yeah. He hasn't read a single Tinto talk. No disrespect to the guy. Playmaker is amazing. He doesn't play the game like how I play, and actually, there is one thing that Playmaker does that annoys me. I really like the guy, even though I don't like his style of play. I like to watch him for the contrast. But there's one thing he does that does annoy me, and it's the fact that he continuously brings up the fact that he gets hate, and it feels like it's like he gets hate for being a very gamey player. And there's two reasons it annoys me. One, it's a very amateurish YouTuber thing to do for someone with his subscriber count. As a YouTuber, never tell people what bothers you because he talks about it so much over and over again. He brings up the subject. That's how people know what bothers him. So they're going to do it. If you tell people what bothers you, they're going to do it. And it annoys me that he does that. He's like, no, stop. Stop doing that. They're gonna do it more. And the other thing about it that annoys me is that he continually repeats the phrase, "I play it like a video game." And it's like, yeah, I get it. You play it like a video game. We all play it like a video game, but it's the way he phrases it. I know it's not the way he intends it to come across, but the way he says it, that he plays it like a video game. Some people like play it like a role-playing simulator or something is how he says it. And then he says, "I play like a video game. I play it to win." That it makes it come across like he's playing it correct. And it's like, I know he doesn't mean it like that, but it's just like, migration mechanic. Yeah, you can still, yeah, pops migrate. Migrating for tags. The code is in place for tags to migrate in EU5, but I don't think there's any tags that are going to be intentionally migrating. Yes, I'm very glad that Playmaker is breaking the game for balance. That is a very respectable thing he does. I applaud him for that. He breaks the game and then they fix it better. Uh, uh, like how the fact that he explained something that I'm sure many of us were thinking, the fact that in EU5 religion just wasn't as important as culture, so now you have to both have your culture and religion majority to core a province. Too ADHD to read all the Tinto talks? Well, if you watch the streams, you know at least as much as if you read the Tinto talks, to be honest, with how much people here come and talk and discuss stuff. Denmark, which is only the most powerful of starts. Yeah. Only the most powerful of starts. Yes. Denmark will be my first tag for sure. Yes. I'd consider Norway as a country I'd want to play pretty early because I'd want to try and convert to Norse as them and doing colonization as colonizing Vinland just sounds awesome, right? Um, he plays to win, not to enjoy. No. He plays to have fun. It's his way to have fun. It's not that he plays to win over having fun. He has fun. Um, though I will say you're not entirely without merit in that statement because in his focus on trying to win to have fun, he tries to have fun by trying to win. However, in doing so, he loses sight of some of the mechanics and will sometimes it's more difficult for him to adapt because he's so used to it, to the way that you try to win. You play video games like you play video games. I play video games like I play video games. We're the same. What do you think should be added to EU5? More modder support. Because I'm a modder. I'm a modder. I just want the game to be as fun and accessible to mod as possible. I want as many people to be able to try and make their own mods for the total conversions and stuff. There's so many people, by the way. I'm on the EU5 modder co-op. There's so many people there already and have been for ages talking about their own plans for making total conversion mods. There's so many people trying it. Not many people have even remotely as many people working with them on it as me, but there's some people with more skill than me. So I'm very curious to see what the landscape's going to be like. I'm going to have some friendly competition. It'll be fun. Uh, yeah, the tolls. Matt, they did explain the sound toll exists. So Denmark is a pretty crappy start position, but they also make money out of all the trades going through the sound toll. So that's going to be quite nice. Greenland's going to be fun in the most crappy way possible. Greenland, you naively think Greenland is going to be fun, Mercanthrall, but in reality, it's going to be incredibly challenging and force you to learn the foundational mechanics of the game. I think that Greenland's going to be a decent place for people to learn how to play the game from a very grungy, down to earth standpoint for building up a nation. Same way that I think that playing a New World native tag is going to do it, but also probably Africa. Just any place that isn't up to modern tech. Places that are tribal or lacking in certain resources, I think, are going to be great for learning the game. They'll be difficult, but great for forcing you to learn the game. Andorra is a country I'd like to play, yeah. Honestly, I would like to pull it off. It would be great. No, just never form any nations. You just stay as Andorra the whole game. Yeah. I don't think you can sail through the Northwest Passage, but maybe. That's a good question. Yeah. Tonga World Conquest. Yeah, just to start easy. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. The game's modding potential is incredible. Yes. Finally I've caught up. Yeah, yeah. With AIM saying also Hawaii. Yeah. Wow, I've caught up. It only took 50 minutes of us just yapping like this. All right, let me push back my Anbanar Vicky stream by an hour. That's gonna need to wait a little bit. Sorry, Argorchton. Argorchton, my beloved, will need to wait for another hour because we've got we've got to keep going with the yapping. Third nation you played in EU4 was the Chemcheck one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe 2 hours. Oh, shush. Shit about cat girls. No. Again, Matt, for asking about the cat girls. Again, asking about the cat girls. No. No. Yeah, yeah, nice map by the way. Map for yeah, yeah. You're in my server and you can see the cooking channel. You can see the kitchen. That means you've seen my map, and you've probably seen the list of races. You've probably seen all like people talking about all the different races that exist. You know there aren't cat girls. Even Bethesda has cat girls. Okay, that's different. That's different. Um, we've All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I said, remember, there's the there's the shape shifting race. We literally call them the shifters. We use them to cover a lot of the tropes of monstrous race. Just this is a monster race. They fill a lot of that niche in various places. Though there's a couple other similar races that also are considered very. They're not respected much, but the shifters do in fact. There is a particular basin. There is a basin that is tropical and is kind of coded to be like our Central America, but it's like it's inland and isolated. It's very weird. We've got like our Central America in a basin that's like cut off from the sea by Southeast Asia, so it's just one long just area of jungle on the coast that then connects to a basin that's full of even more jungle. But anyway, that basin is the Mesoamerican basin, and there's the shape shifting people there, and in the basin where you've got Mesoamerican themed dudes, and also the Apaches, because why not? There are jaguar coded. There are these shifters that change into jaguars, and they live inside a very dense and inhospitable jungle that people have been trying to tame. So they will be playable. However, the problem is we need actual models for that. So again, they're just gonna look like they're just gonna look pasty, like big beefy pasty, flat faced things. Yeah, so you're not gonna see the cat boys until we get someone to model all that stuff. Get an event chain of my ruler's cat pushing important documents off the table. There you go. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. So yeah, yeah, about the furries. Sorry, Matt, for it, it's a much more scaly themed mod. I'm afraid. We've got a couple yeah scaly races, but no, no furries really, other than the shifters. Yeah, rip furries. One of my best buddies is a furry. There's furries that work on the mod too. Shellies, yes. I think yeah, yeah, yeah. If that's a thing, then yeah, Shellies. You get the lobsters. Everyone wants to be the lobster. Anyway, this was half an hour of staring at this at least. No, 40 minutes of just staring at this one image, yapping about inconsequential stuff. But that's what we're all here for, ain't it? Exploration of Portugal in 1501. So 14, 1492 hits, and then Portugal's like, oh my god, there's so much stuff. And they just explore. We must explore it all. Colonial range has a base value of 1000 and then gets increased by advances. Hmm. Some of these advances are unique to some nations, as is Portugal. Okay. However, any nation can explore and colonize in EU5, mainly after the Age of Discovery and embracement of the New World institution. The higher your colonial range value, the further you can explore. Yeah, that makes sense. Then overseas exploration gives you 1,500 colonial range, and then open seas exploration. So that means that when most people get the ability to explore, they'll have 2,500, whatever that means. Yeah, I played the Siberian tribes in EU4. Yeah, Merkin roll. I have in fact played them. They are ass. They're absolutely terrible. They're stuck in limbo between tags that have like actual mechanics functioning for the government and tags that don't, so they barely feel like they're functioning at all, even with like DLC. But they're there. But yeah, apparently everyone. So yeah, you need tech to explore overseas unless you're Greenland. Apparently Greenland can explore and colonize overseas without tech because they've got a specific government thing that lets them do that, which is cool. Mind you, they just can't afford it. But apparently Greenland has the unique privilege on the map of being one of, if not the only tag in the map that it can explore overseas at game start. But they will be stuck with their base 1000 colonial range. Uh, thank God EU5 solved the Kamchatka nations by just not making them playable. No, John Mayen's not on the map. You're not going to be able to play it. It's not even a tile, I'm afraid. Uh, but everyone is able to explore and colonize adjacent to them at game start. You'll be able to explore over land, and I definitely intend to, from a modding standpoint, make use of that. No tribe gameplay? Oh no, you can play tribes, just not those ones. Just not those ones. Not overseas, open seas. Open seas. Oh. Oh. That's a good point, Nathaniel. Maybe that's the case. I think this calls for a map. Map, 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 map. Mega thread. Mega thread. Mega thread. Ethiopia, Levant, Scandinavia. Feedback. Also North America. Feedback. Feedback. Hmm. Doesn't quite show. Because it's not showing. Southeast Asia, North America feedback. Surely here. Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, because the Iroquois got added to the map. Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. But yeah, you can't actually sail up there in the Northeast. Yeah, there's some open ocean there, but people have that discovered at Game Start, so it doesn't even matter. I forgot you can't. So that means that this image does have everything we need because in or maybe it doesn't. Ah, I'm gonna guess based on this. I'm gonna guess that it does in fact have open ocean. I'm gonna guess that they do in fact. Yeah, it looks like they do cross open ocean. Um, so the reason I'm not just looking at the world map is because the world map doesn't have terrain. Oh, never mind. I'm stupid. It does actually have topography. I just thought it didn't for some reason. So yeah. Oh, and they did actually add an open ocean connection in the northwest. So yeah, Greenland is able to colonize because yeah, I thought I heard, and it turns out that was correct. Greenland does in fact have a unique um they've got a unique bit of tech, or not tech, the unique government reform that lets them colonize over and explore over the deep ocean at Game Start, despite not having the tech. Alaska, yeah, that's coastal. At Game Start, yeah, there's a reason at Game Start. At Game Start, the Koreans through generalists are able to colonize Alaska because it's just coast. Yeah, Iceland could technically colonize Greenland, but you're not able to get to the New World from Iceland. Iceland and Greenland get something. So, oh, Iceland? Iceland also? That'd be cool. Yeah, there's no Northwest Passage. See all the black hashed lines? All the black hashed out lines means that you can't go there. So that means you can't go there. Yeah. Mind you, this is slightly old. This is also a slightly old world map because um as you can see here, for some ungodly reason, as a Canadian, I'm pleased that they did this, but it's also like holy why did they do this? Why did they do this? As a Canadian, I'm just shooketh because I look at this thing. They added like okay, one, two, three, four, five, six. They added six colonizable tiles to Baffin Island, including Iqaluit. You can see on the map. That's the capital of Nunavut. You can see it right there. There's a colonizable tile. But yeah, for some reason they'll let you colonize that, which is my perfect excuse because I wanted to. Nunavut gameplay about it can be fire. Yeah, yeah. There's a place in my mod where it's basically a part of the open ocean that's just glacier. Is just glacier meets the open ocean, and I wanted an excuse, but this gave me the excuse of like, well, I guess we'll just let people colonize the glacier now. Mind you, Baffin Island's a little better than that, but not much better. Um, so I'll just add some little pockets here and there in the glacier where you can colonize. You have to put that ship on the ice sled for a bit, but it looks doable. Yeah, yeah, exactly. All right. Anyway, that rant aside, yeah, there's a yeah they have the sagas or whatever it is. Overseas exploration advance, age of discovery, yeah, increase the colonial range and allows open sea exploration. Yep. Um, Wrap this up a little bit because we know that. Yep, spend sailors and money to explore. But you also need these. Yes, you need tools, naval supplies, cloth, liquor, and lumber. And as was explained by, according to, yeah, playmaker playing as the Mayans, he wasn't able to explore because he didn't have all the he just simply didn't have the resources required. Like he didn't have these goods required to construct. Yeah, Paradox copied the Delary waste from Anmanar. Yeah, I mean, hey, the Delary waste from Anmanar are just Nunavut, so to be fair. Yeah, then choose the spot that you explore from. Required goods need to begin exploration of the Gulf of Mexico. Once your nation has prepared an expedition, the duration depends on two main factors. Distance of the exploration compared to your nation's naval range. Naval range increases with advances, such as the naval ambitions advance, and terrain of the region being explored. So this is something I really, I'm a little. No, I'm actually quite sad. They removed the concept of people being able to fail in exploration. I really liked the concept of you being able to fail in exploration, and I really wanted to play that up in my mod, where certain places would be very undesirable for the AI to colonize until a certain point, or colonize or explore until a certain points in the game, because it would just be um basically impossible that you'd succeed. So you'd have to throw tons of money at it and roll the dice over and over again and hope you get lucky. They put it back. Spoiler alert, they put that back? The ability to fail an expedition? Oh hell yeah. We so back. We so back. Family sagas. Government reform for Icelandic culture can recruit explorers, can invite settlers, and allows exploration missions. Thank you very much, Rasak. That is incredibly based, and it also means that Iceland's actually just the better Greenland tag. So realistically, if you want to do an early colonial game, as much as Greenland's the meme, Iceland will actually be a lot more feasible then. Think it's just through events though, random events. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, I'll take a look and we'll discuss that. Takes time to complete an exploration action and then calculated by comparing total exploration cost against your nation's monthly progress. By default, exploration begins at 0.05 per month, but increases with advances, government reforms, and the skill of your explorer. During the Age of Discovery, nations also benefit from a flat 0.25 exploration progress, reflecting the surge of ambition that fueled early voyages of discovery. You get to beat to windward. Pursuing the waves, age 2. Explorer skill. Military ability. Or there is an explorer, so that's a bonus. And the military ability of the explorer. Age discovery, and then base value. For a whole 1.11. Hmm. Modifiers for all nations. Yeah, yeah, I love this. I love this, by the way. Yeah, and yes, Iceland actually has pops and RGOs. Not terrible ones either. It's not good. They're not good ones by any means, but they actually can function as a country. You can build like an actual tag on Iceland. Like if someone told me, "Oh, I'm going to play as Iceland and try a colonial game and build tall," uh, yeah, I'd believe them. Um, this this yeah this whole ages thing, where the different ages give you different bonuses, expected army size going up, control impact on war score changing, exploration monthly progress, and you get the unique stuff like that, where the colonial maintenance goes up or down, exploration progress, all of those things. I I want one of the one of the key things I really want to try and do with my mod is I want to make variables in place that will make uh, these modifiers change. I want you to be able to play different games. I want you to be able to play different games. You'll be playing my mod, and you will see different options, and you'll be like, this is like the different kind of age you could get. I want to see if it's possible. I it's impossible to know for sure, but I really want to know if it'll be possible, and I'm gonna give it my best shot. I want to try and make it so that gameplay can you can play the game and cause different ages to happen. I want I want to see if that's something I can pull off. I don't know, but there's so many different ways that in EU4 you can mess with the start conditions of an age. Things like, Protestant Reformation. And Bernard, you get the discovery made in Aelentir. Things like that. It's so tied to variables, and it would definitely, if it is functional, require some janking of the UI. My guess is you can. Imagine there's events that change the event bonuses in some way. It would fuck up technology and institutions. Potentially. Depends, though. Hard to say for certain how how you might be able to adjust that sort of thing. It's a long-term goal that I would want to have. Not the sort of thing you could do immediately, but that's the idea. Uh, Theoretically, the institutions and techs, by and large, most of the institutions and techs would need to be the same across both, with some adjustments, is what my intention would be. However, that is, again, it's impossible to know for sure. But that is something I would really want to try and do. That's something I'm very keen on, because every time I see these age bonuses, and you get the bonuses and penalties just for the age, that is such a neat concept to me. I've got some, and myself as well as my team have some very specific concepts in mind for what we want. The reasons for certain things to happen, and the consequences of them to be. So, yeah. Also find it very interesting. Antagonism, religion influence. That's also very fun. But it is something that I am very much holding my breath for until the game is out, because I don't know. But theoretically, it would be possible in EU4, and I'm sure that it's technically possible in EU5 as well. Technically. Yeah. Fruit fly. Don't bother me. Shoot fly. Don't bother me. Expeditions with colonial ambitions. Yep, that's the best time to start your exploration. Exploration is never without risk. While an expedition is underway, a variety of events can occur that influence its progress. These can range from favorable winds and unexpected discoveries that speed up exploration, or storms or diseases that will slow the exploration. In the most severe cases, explorations may suffer devastating setbacks. An explorer might perish, or the voyage can fail entirely, forcing you to reconsider its plans for overseas expansion. Huh. There must be something we can do. Try everything. That's very interesting. Yeah, I want in that case, I think what I would need to do is I'd need to set up events. I need to make some custom events, base them off of the events that they've got already in the base game for exploring. So I'd need to grab those events and then cause them to trigger this new event that I these new events that I would create for the dangerous areas to explore. I need to both make those areas take longer to explore, be less desirable for the AI until they reach a certain tech, and then make the game check, does person have this tech? If so, or is there a global variable? Because it would be a global variable that makes that area easier to explore. So it would be a case of global variable, you know, or yeah, either global variable has triggered or tech has been researched by this tag, and then if the target of exploration is that tile or that region. I just don't know if that's going to be possible to code. If I can script it to look at what region it's exploring. I don't know. Fishing accident. Yeah, fishing accident, and then, sorry, the fish ate you. Consequences of these expeditions are not they don't affect the expedition alone. They can ripple back home, reshaping the societal values of your nation. So you can move towards innovative a bit by trying everything to get out of yeah, calm winds. Part of Africa. A guiding bird. Indian North Anguillus. Seagulls only go out to sea to die, right? It'd be best if we follow it. Ah, don't trust the seagulls. Don't trust the seagulls. They will limit the AI from colonizing Malaria Africa. So there must be some kind of control for modern. That's a good point. That is a very good point. That is a very good point because the AI is going to be disincentivized from colonizing Africa because the disease will exist, but the AI is incapable of knowing about the diseases. They just won't colonize it as much because they'll be disincentivized by the code. They will just be scripted to think that that is a bad place to colonize. So they will usually not go there as a result. Theoretically, that's how that will work. So there's got to be a way that you can, as a result, tell the AI, don't do this, don't go there. Or, rather, you'll be able to you know, script stuff to happen based on where you were colonizing. Hopefully there's some examples of such a thing in the code on release so that I can mess around with that. Unlike EU4, new terrain is not discovered until the exploration is completed and the voyagers are back home, giving access to new explorations and, in case of land being explored, new access to colonization opportunities. The system ensures that exploration in EU5 is not just about sending out ships, it's about timing, preparation, and weighing risks against rewards. Choosing when to explore, the level of characters you send out to your voyages, and how much of your nation's resources are dedicated to it. This will shape the rate at which that you can cover the wider world. And colonization, yes. Any uncolonized territory within your colonial range can be targeted. Oh, did they change it so you can't try and colonize a tile owned by another nation? Have they gotten rid of that concept now? Or those locations just have a penalty to colonization priority, so the AI tries them last? Yes, we'll see. We shall see. Strike colonial charter, ducats maintain it. Provincial level, with the colonial charter completing with every location fully colonized. Yeah. Yeah, we just don't. They're not specifying, but I'm kind of inclined to assume that they've gotten rid of the concept of colonizing locations that are owned by someone. I'm starting to think they have walked back on that concept. As needed as it was. If that's not going to be in the game, it will be a shame, but I can imagine it would be very difficult to pull off regardless. So, let's create colonial charter. Adjacent. Yeah, those will be much cheaper. And then commission conquistadors. I love that. It's gonna be fun. Yeah. 1509 new colonial charters. Cost 200 ducats to start and have a monthly maintenance cost depending on how many are active. Colonization, however, is not so simple an undertaking. It's a process that is both costly and time-consuming, demanding that pops from your homeland uproot their lives and migrate to distant frontiers. While setting up a colonial charter, you choose which province new settlers will come from. I assume that they've removed it because I'm just assuming they've removed it because they don't make any mention of it. They haven't made any mention of here. Like they're just saying any uncolonized territory within your range. That 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 makes it sound like any land that's not owned by a tag. That's why I would think that. And people have been making AARs, yes, but I don't think any of them have made any AARs talking about colonizing land that a tag owned directly. Maybe it's not. Yes, that's fair. Maybe it just isn't used much, and they didn't want to make it more complicated. Hmm. Bring on. All right. Pops from Portugal leave to find new opportunities in the colonies. Well, it looks based on this, what we're looking at here, this image. It certainly looks like Portugal is colonizing Africa. So maybe the AI isn't disincentivized from colonizing it after all, and they will just try it anyway. It'll just be more difficult as the disease will go through. This is unfortunate. Oh boy. Hmm. Yes, dense native populations will require far more time and investment to claim compared to sparsely inhabited areas. Similarly, location modifiers such as harsh climates, limited arable land, or the presence of diseases like malaria will slow colonial progress and increase the risk for settlers. Could be South Africa or some islands, but there's a whole lot of them. Okay, a couple of those like, a couple of those arrows look like they're going to things like the islands in the South Atlantic. Yeah, it's true. But this is also 1509, pre-colonial charter of Guyana. So I don't know. The presence of diseases like malaria will slow colonial progress or increase the risk for settlers. Yes. You can also increase the speed in which you colonize by increasing your colonial migration. Colonial migration determines how many pops leave for from your homelands to settle in your charters. This can be increased by advances in tech, laws, government reforms, or having more outward societal value and increased maritime presence in the region in which you are sending the settlers from. But it also can be decreased by distance from the region you are sending the settlers and having a more inward focused societal value. The outward versus inward societal value bar gets activated in the age of discovery. They reached India by the late 1400s. This is a fair point. Portugal at game start is fully capable of exploring down and call like at game start. Portugal will be able to press the explore button, explore the various Central Atlantic islands that are off the coast of Africa and stuff, and colonize those islands, and then make it down to they'll make it to be able to make it down to the Cape. Um, Nothing will stop them from doing that other than the cost being higher because it won't require going over open ocean. They can, bit by bit, make their way down there, unless it's out of their colonial range. But Portugal probably has unique things that give them more range, so who knows? My guess is they will target the few locations in Africa and ignore the rest. Probably. I imagine they'll focus on islands. Most likely, Portugal is going to send they'll be making their way down the coast of Africa, exploring it. They'll grab the islands off the coast of Africa, settle some places like South Africa, and we'll probably very, very rarely ever see British South Africa because the Portuguese are probably going to take it every game. Hello, Hot Pockets. You were telling me the other day, Mr. Hot Pocket, that I should go and join Generalists podcast. Yeah. I didn't even know he had one. So, yes, how could I do such a thing? And also, as I had said, so I think you left. I'm pretty sure that you left before I saw your message and responded to it. But what I had said in response to that is the fact that I don't have access to the game. And if I don't have access to the game, I don't think that there's much that I can add that Generalist would want. Like, there's me talking about the Tinto talks and stuff that y'all folks can get something out of, I know, but at the end of the day, I don't have the game. What my value is far lower that I can provide to the table as opposed to Generalist. I thought Malfornian got access to the game. Huh. Malfornian's larger than me, though. Hmm. Perhaps I'm being a little.
Planet.
Perhaps I'm being a little too harsh on myself. I don't know. Ludi got it back? Oh, sheesh. Should have been Joffrey. I've only got 1 point. I'm a listen, guy. I am a stagnant YouTube channel with 1.68 subs. I got one. I want 1K 600 subs, and I've been stuck here for half a year now. I'm not someone that's worth the attention of Paradox. I need a VOD channel. What? VOD channels exist for people who stream on Twitch and then post on YouTube. Also, people watch me for my streams, not my videos. I don't make much in the way of videos. Iceland does. Iceland does have ivory and wool. Yeah, they've got. Iceland does have all the building blocks you need. Yeah, for a proper tag. Uh, People think that Ludi lost the game for a bit because he was being a little too free with information. He was yapping a bit about stuff he probably shouldn't have, and was playing a little too fresh with their restrictions, where they will say you can't do this, but then he did and said stuff that was like really playing with it. EU5 most certainly won't have dedicated voice chats, but it's got text chat, for what that's worth. All right, all right. Oh, fine, fine, fine. Y'all want me to try joining the podcast so much? I'll hit him up. I'll hit him up. I've talked with Generalist before. He's liked he has acknowledged my content when I made a video discussing him, and he thinks I'm, or at least he thought I was neat at the time. I spent some time talking in his Discord about the game, so why not? I'll give it a shot. I'll shoot him a message on Discord, see if he responds, and let him know that my community is begging me to join the Bald podcast. I'll see. I'll see if I can make it happen. Only because y'all asked so nicely. Be right back. Time. Oh my god. Well, I wish you luck with femboy time, Pocket. Okay. That's something I never thought I'd say. Outward, yeah, outward increases it. So outward societal value. Wait, what? Sorry? Lambert got banned from the PDX threads? What did he do? What did he do to get banned? He's got access to the game. Yeah. What? Wait, what happened? Hold on. Pause. Pause everything. Hold up. I like Lambert. Lambert and I play EU4 on Wednesdays. What's going on? What do you do? We comment on each other's videos sometimes. He probably said that Byzantium is ruined again, yeah. He wrote some stuff about Ukraine was considered too political. That sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds like something Lambert would say. Yeah. Well, oh, he refused to delete it. Okay. Okay. Well, at the end of the day, then I'm glad to hear that's all it was, and that it was just forum moderation. It was just him. Yeah, talking politics and not deleting it. Um, and not something like you're gonna get unpersoned for. Yeah, that's good to hear. Hmm. Where's dominance? Cultural tradition goes down. Yeah, cultural tradition isn't that important though. Cultural influence is the more important one. Power projection. That's actually something I really hope. I want them to make cultural tradition more important. That's something I hope they do. Yes, you're right. It was probably just that he refused to acknowledge that Montferrat is the true successor of Rome. Oh wow, 100% extra. Whew. Okay. Yeah, I really I am a I yeah, listen. Yeah, I don't like to talk politics on my YouTube channel, but half of my family's from Ukraine, and they left a few generations back for let's describe it as the foreshadowing of the current events, a rather much worse version of the current events. Let's say, yeah. Yes, very insightful of them. They left, but things were a lot worse. Let's just say things were a lot worse there back then. You know, can't be saying anything specific about that. But the outward societal value definitely going to be a big. I'm going to be a big fan of that because I love Diplocap. I am a sucker for diplomacy. I am a huge bird mana guy in EU4, and I'm going to be a huge enjoyer of vassals in EU5. It's a very good thing. I am very glad that they nerfed vassals because vassals were too good, and vassals were so good in the earlier stages of EU5 that earlier stages of pre-release EU5, as we've been seeing, they were so good that people wouldn't even want to focus on diplomacy because you didn't need to. You could just have so many vassals. Now, I think that it needs some tweaking yet. I think it needs that the concept needs some tweaking because you have problems like there's some tags at game start that have way too many vassals uh, based on the new system for DiploCap, and I don't know how best to resolve it. I'm no expert. But I think I am just glad that diplomacy is going to be very important because you're going to actually want to have vassals. So I'm going to be choosing. I'm going to be making the choice for diplomacy. When go to an age, I'll be like, yeah, all right. Do I want this? I'll think about it and choose diplomacy for the bonuses it gives to vassals and alliances and all stuff. Yeah, it's all about the birds. Yeah. Ah, yes.
Finland is the last successor to Rome after Byzantium. Yep, yep. Had a while in EU4 when Bosnia was your favorite nation because they had one of the first vassal force limit bonuses. Yay! Yay! A fellow vassal enjoyer. Yes. You're good in my books, Rasak. You're cool. You're cool for that. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Inward. Oh. I didn't know. Oh. That's actually okay. This actually is that's a real choice. Yeah, I remember when Vassal Force Limit was considered meta, and I still, no joke, Nathaniel, I still make use of it. I am a humongous. This will shock no one. Um, there is a on my Discord server. We are planning a EU4 send off, a multiplayer game, where it's going to be our last multiplayer game of EU4. We're going to be playing as yeah, it's majors only game. We're setting up all sorts of rules to force players to compete because we're picking points of interest on the map that are worth more points, and we're playing into what countries actually want to explore and which ones are focused on the Thunderdome in Europe and that sort of thing. And so I'm going to be playing as Austria. So I'm going to be y'all will get to see the fact that I am still confident in the vassal force limit meta. I will show you the ridiculous hordes of Austrians that I can pull from my if I actually manage to use my diplomacy to survive amongst the various players that will be competing for my land and my points. If I survive long enough, then I will show the vassal force limit that I can wield. Going decentralized HRE? I could. That's the thing, Eric. I could go decentralized HRE because the point system uh, in the point system we're going to be using in that multiplayer game means that as long as something's in the HRE, it still counts it for me getting points from it. So that's all I need. I could go decentralized. I could definitely do it. It would be very risky, and honestly, I probably just shouldn't, but I could. Realistically, I should just go centralized and centralized, or even just to go for the Germany Austria path. Um, no, no one's playing as Brandenburg. There's too many. There's too many other actually the game has good players. There's good players. Like there's a really good player on France and a really good player on Poland. So I'm going to be very much surrounded on both sides. We might even have a Scandinavian player. So I'm going to be surrounded to my east and west by actually very competent players. There's also an Ottomans player. However, he's a lot less meta. He plays the game more just he has fun for reasons other than winning. So I'm not as worried about him trying to gank me. Major tags without Brandenburg, Prussia. Yes, that is correct. Uh, we felt that Brandenburg kind of gets rid of the point of having you can't really have a Poland so much if there's a Brandenburg player, or vice versa, as well as Scandinavia. So we feel that Scandinavia fits the niche much more. So there's a Sweden, uh, and Brandenburg just kind of it messes up the HRE too much, and the HRE is already in such a dangerous spot. I'm basically going to be playing King of the Hill for the whole game. Remember, a long time ago, some people played an MP in the HRE, and one of the players finessed his way into that one reform that made everyone vassal without people seeing. Yes, HRE never survives in an MP if there's people playing in it. I I can I'll pull it off in that game. I'll pull it off. Doesn't mean I'll win, but it's a very different focused lobby because the game is focused a lot more on collecting points and stopping other people from winning. So there's going to be a lot more incentive to stop someone who is objectively winning. So I'm going to be in the lead at game start, but very quickly people will have other places to draw their attention to. But yeah, we're not we're not even halfway through the dev diary. You were right. You were right. You were right. I should have delayed it longer. I'm delaying it again. I'm delaying the Anvinar stream again. Delaying the Anvinar stream again. Yeah. Gonna get ripped apart by France and Poland. You be quiet. You be quiet. Just because every single player wants my land doesn't mean that I'm doomed. I have a good deal of confidence in the lobby as far as the dynamism goes. Even if I have an uphill battle early game, I think that oh shush. Deals will be made. Italian wars will be fought. Probably lost. Right. But I don't imagine there's going to be much left. Honestly, I probably didn't even need to delay it because yeah, we're not even halfway through. But like, there's only going to be so much. Like what? Like we already know the RGOs. We've already seen these. Um, yeah, multiple nations can target the same province, creating colonial race where the rival powers compete to establish dominance. Papal colony. Yes, yes, the Pope. I'm gonna want to colonize as the Pope. That's gonna be great. Go to the kingdom of heaven. Colonies that were. I mean, actually, I'm gonna do it as Venice. You see, y'all see Generalist colonizing as Venice in his screenshot. It's beautiful. Oh, now that reminds me. Before I forget, I need to open up Discord and start typing up that message. I need to open up Discord and uh here. Let me yeah, open up a DM with the generalist and see if he'll respond. Pope casually giving himself in the Treaty of Tordesillas. The Treaty of Rome. Okay, the Pope? I say the Pope gets all of this. Remember, you can move the line too. I asked myself, and I think the Papal States should have all of the world. Let's move the line. Sumatran Islands. Holy! 9 colonial charters for the Sumatran Islands. Majapahit. There's so many. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good thing. CK. Yeah, that's a CK man moment. I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like this. Why are there so many people in Asia colonizing the Sumatra? That feels weird. That feels weird. Vijayanagar colonizing Sumatra is just a little odd. Yeah, the Age of Discovery, the Treaty of Tordesillas happens. Yeah. King Hughes. Who are these people? It's not. Oh, Sweden and Portugal. Ruler in Sweden. So Portugal versus. That's great. How Sweden got a colony. You can turn non-Europeans colonizing off? Oh, okay. That's interesting. I don't know if I like this. There's too many people in Asia. That's yeah. We to take these out of context, guys. Yeah. Yes, yes, of course. All right. Yeah, you need at least 1,000 pops present in every location in the charter. Yeah, you need to finish it, and you need 36% of the pops in every location need to be either your primary culture or an accepted culture, as well as your nation's religion. Okay, that's different from what it used to be. It used to be 50%. I like the 36. It's not bad. Like location with 20,000 natives will take much longer than a location with 200 natives to colonize. When the location is colonized, those natives will become tribesmen pops, a pop class that's harder to promote compared to peasants. When a charter is completed, the new lands officially come under your nation's authority. But what you do with them is entirely up to you. EU5 offers several opportunities for how to manage these freshly colonized territories, each with their own strategic implications. So, new colonial subject. Yeah, yeah. Yes, it creates its own market. And supposedly it also creates a new town. We keep hearing people saying when they create a new colonial nation, it always creates a new town. Plays the colonial subject, step into the shoes of the new colony, guiding its growth and carving out a unique destiny separate from its mother country. Similar to the first option of market access, though, a new market center is created. Oh, so it's an if. It's an if. Integrate into an existing colonial subject. Yes. If you want to increase the power of one particular colony, I think that's gonna be a pretty big if for me. Yeah, pretty depends. Retain direct control. Keep the land as part of your core empire, allowing you to exploit its resources directly, but also requiring more active management and, of course, much less control. Colonial subjects in EU5 are not restricted to the New World. They can be established anywhere across the globe, reflecting the truly global reach of empire building during this era. So yes, if you are playing, so theoretically, then, if you're playing as Sweden and you colonize the Northeast, you'll be able to turn that into colonial administration. Northeast Scandinavian colonial administration. Will become a town, gains a clay pit, a lumber mill, and a mason. Oh, that's neat. Huh. Talking. Yeah, I like that. Sending pups to an established colony may be necessary to fully utilize the resources there. You can do this through the Send People to the Colonies cabinet action, unlocked as an advance in the Age of Discovery. Control and market access is terrible there at games. Yeah, yeah, I actually, um, you can only make colonial nations overseas? You're sure? Okay. Well, because you can colonize the northeast of Scandinavia. Just don't know if because they say you can make colonial nations anywhere. So I guess um, realistically, if you I guess yeah, instead it would be a case of you colonize the northeast of Scandinavia and then you just give it to a vassal. Is the difference? You just create a new vassal to hold it. Just, yeah. Don't know what the game considered overseas. Definitely not northern Scandinavia, Sweden. Yeah, yeah. You would instead have to create your own subject theoretically. Then, if it doesn't let you turn it into a colonial nation. Population growth will be fast. In fertile but barely populated locations, population growth will be faster than back home, so lending to huge population growth opportunities that you can also increase with the settlement building. This building is not limited to colonies, but requires a location to have below 5% population capacity. A requirement that will be more prevalent in the New World. Yeah, much more relevant in the New World than places that get devastated by plagues. Yeah. I do like. It's a very good boost the building gives, and it's not especially expensive either. So I could definitely see myself anytime I finish a colony, as long as I've got the money to spend, instantly just building settlements in my colony's lands. No, no, modders do not have access to the game and code already, I am afraid. Uh, this has been an ongoing podcast for the past year and a half. Uh, I had co-hosts as well who were fellow modders for Crusader Kings 3. However, it is just me most of the time now. Folks are busy with other stuff. I don't need to speak for myself, Matt. For I am on the EU5 modding co-op, and no one there has access to the game either. But yes, tragically, modders do not have access yet. I imagine that there are probably some modders that do. I would not be surprised in the slightest if Anbanar has access, for example. But we shall see. For my part, I hope they don't, because if they don't have access, then that will mean. Actually, no, I don't think they do, because on their Discord they're talking about EU5 as something that once it comes out, they'll start working on it. I don't know. Regardless, look at North America. Well, we're yeah. Paradox mentioned that some modders do. Oh, well, that wouldn't surprise me then. I imagine that, yeah, I would not be surprised if they would give access to, say, J Bean himself and to let him do some work on it specifically. That would not surprise me. It will be sad because, yeah, I'm definitely not going to be able to be one of the first mods because that comes out. It will be a lot of work to get a new map in a even remotely playable state, even if it doesn't have the whole world in. It will be very tricky. Yes. Yeah, send people with the cabinet action. Just moving on from the settlement building. Yes, settlements will be great for that, and they get deleted automatically. Yeah. Every nation can colonize, yes. Colonial subjects and colonial trade. Viceroyalty of Brazil. Yeah. Deciding whether to directly control new colonized land or to establish it as a colonial subject is a fundamental strategic choice in EU5. Both approaches carry benefits and trade-offs, shaping not only your empire's strength, but also its stability. Directly controlling Directly controlling it grants your nation full sovereignty over their resources and output. However, distance comes at a cost. Far-flung provinces are harder to control, and direct rule is best reserved for strategically vital locations or compact colonial holdings. Creating a subject places authority in the hands of the colonial administration, which operates as its own national capital closer to the territory. So, yeah, you actually get control in the region. I imagine that I will be setting up lots of different colonies because it's going to be so hard for colonies to actually propagate control over their whole territory. So I'll probably want to create quite a few different colonies and only merge a few of them. but it depends on how the Diplo cap works. Colonial subjects give 2.5% of monthly income, monthly manpower and sailors. Okay. And 33% of their trade advantage and trade capacity. Yes, this is the more valuable thing. The taxes are less significant by a wide margin than the trade. You make a lot more money from the trade, where you take their trade power. Getting trade advantage there just because you have them as a subject is going to be very nice. And loyal subjects will join all offensive and defensive wars. Yeah, you can siphon income. Autonomous partners. Useful allies, but potential rivals if their loyalty is strained. Yep. Current trade. Yeah, you're grabbing, grabbing the gems and gems and gold from their market. Bring it back home for money. Yes. Hmm. Gradual organic. Development in the New World is designed to be gradual and an organic process. Colonies do not instantly transform into bustling cities or economic hubs. Instead, growth unfolds over time, shaped by when and where the colonization begins. Regions that are colonized early will naturally develop earlier, gaining population, infrastructure, and trade connections before their latter settled counterparts. As your campaign progresses, you will see the world evolve dynamically, with colonial regions rising and falling in importance just as they did historically. Your decisions where to invest first will leave a lasting mark on the geopolitical and economic landscape. This is just an image of Game Start New World. Cahokia is so funny. Development of the Americas after 1763. Cahokia still exists in 1763. Whoo! And then the colony of America. The Haudenosaunee also still exist. What? Jeez. Cahokia and the Haudenosaunee still exist. Well, that's interesting. See, maybe they're not so doomed after all, right? 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 Oh dear. Oh dear. If you want to know more, yep, the situations. Oh, yes. Welcome to EU5. It takes a simulationist approach so your decisions are shaped by the same forces that shape nations historically. Okay, this is a delightful comic. I'm exploring west. There's a big continent full of gold there. Whoa! Yeah, it does seem like that because there's no new pops. That's a good point. None of these societies of pops became landed. That's very curious. I Yeah, that's very curious, and also lends credence to the notion that you're not able to colonize land that is owned by a tag. Uh-huh. Because if societies of pops could become landed, it wouldn't be a problem if you could still colonize their land. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you, Master. We're gonna see. We're gonna see when the content creators get start actually showing gameplay. People will ask more questions, and they'll get to show stuff. No, or we're just eating when they did. Nah, that wouldn't be the case because there's a lot of societies of pops around, like west of Cahokia, and there's no settled ones there. So it seems like it's just places that Cahokia has colonized. Or maybe it could be that it's the case of these lands because the borders do look kind of wonky. So who knows? Maybe some tribes did settle and then Cahokia conquered them. Maybe. But how did he? That's a good comic. That's a good comic. Yeah. Yeah. Simulationist approach to your decisions are shaped by the same forces that shape nations historically. Yeah. So yeah. Welcome to EU5. Yay! Welcome to EU5. Oh my gosh, I love playing EU5 because it's so accurate to history. Golly gee, I can't wait to do things for the same reasons that nations did them historically. That's why I right now, as Portugal, am colonized. I'm exploring westwards because I know that there's a continent full of gold. I'm not exploring to find India. I'm instead actively trying to go get the gold in the New World. There's no one left on the land. Yeah, yeah, it's true. It could be because the great pestilence just killed them all. Yeah. Oh boy. PDX clown. Spain's six. What is this? What the hell is all this? Oh, it's that it's that the Spanish go and sail all the way to the other side of the planet. They I can't stand those Muslim Moors living in my kingdom. I'll take a boat to explore to the other side of the world just to be rid of them. And they go to the other side of the planet to the Philippines, and then there's Asians. There's Muslim Asians too. They're everywhere. That's pretty good. Oh dear. Video is private. Yeah, make sure to check out the accompanying feature video on our YouTube channel found here. Private. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, jeez. Ah, well, that was an appropriately long discussion about various topics, some more relevant than others. Check your comment. Okay. 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 Fine. Fine. Wait, why can't I sort by dev comments? There's no dev replies. Why should I search? Hmm? 9! You posted 9 times! No dev replies. You posted 9 times in here! The diaries. Next week. Shouldn't be possible because the Catholic people ban on empires. Who's absolute? Who's absolute Habibi? Why is he PDX Habibi? He doesn't work for Paradox. What? Why is he PDX Habibi? He doesn't work for them. What? He's the community ambassador? Bro. No. Him? Oh. Oh boy.
That's what it says in its name. Okay. Uh, Spanish Empire, Kingdom of Spain. Ranked forward shouldn't be possible because Spain is Catholic. Yeah. Yeah. Tier 4 is Empire rank. Yeah. Spanish Empire and not Kingdom of Spain, which means that the country rank, not the formal, which shouldn't be possible if Spain is a Catholic country, since they're the only Christian empire is Rome. He didn't know about the he didn't know about the papal ban on empires for Catholics. Yeah, I don't know how they get around that. That's something that's very weird to me because you get the Spanish and French empires. Mind you, the Empire of France doesn't come to be a thing for a long time, but Spanish Empire is pretty early. Spanish Empire is pretty early. That does not take all that long, relatively speaking. I don't know when or why Spain became an empire, but that was something I've been wondering about ever since they first showed us that there's a papal ban. They were a kingdom? They were always a kingdom? Oh, everyone just refers to it as the Spanish Empire. But you're right. That's a that's a good point. The like Napoleon declared, yeah, yeah, France. Napoleon declared himself the French Empire. Yeah, yeah. That's a very interesting point. Huh. They had an empire, they just weren't empires. Same with England. Yeah. The UK did not have an emperor. Yeah. Hmm. And then he didn't know about that. Community ambassador, yeah. Spain is a tier 4 formal, meaning that it can only be formed by tier 3 or less countries like Castile, but it can still be kingdom rank. So you where is the actual image of the flag? How do you know how do you actually know that it's an empire? Or like that it's an empire ranked title? I don't know. Okay, well, yeah, I'll check the other ones, yeah. Starting the tag. Tag or the flag. Not the tag or the flag. Talking about the country rank. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Use the ability to change the name of a colonial subject when we get the event to create one. Yeah, yeah. Give us the ability to when we're playing as a colonial nation to change our own name. That would be very nice. Yeah. The name on the map is Spanish Empire because they're a rank 4 country somehow. Oh. 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 To become a empire. Change religion. Spanish Empire. You're right. It is Spanish Empire. Yeah. That's a very good point. Yeah. They'd be King of Spain. Yeah. Was it you? What is this post? Oh, it must be Wakanda. Yeah. New country added along Lake Victoria. Nice, nice. No! Matt, for why? Why did you subject us to this?
Why did you make me look through the rest of your posts so that I would see this? Why? Ah. Oh. Rasak, Rasak, for that you are banished. You, you are banished. Why is my nose so itchy? Ah! I like this just because I know people hate it. Eh, I'm such a fun person. You're so fun, Rasak. I've ever said how just fun you are. Ah. Since coins. Oh wait, there's the one new tag added around Lake Victoria. Yeah. Yay! I love Wakanda. Alright. But with that, I actually will be ending this stream here. And I will be taking a minute to recoup. I need to yes, have a little bit of a snack, and then I will start my Anbanar Victoria 3 showcase again. Hopefully this time I will correctly post it on their Reddit, because last time I did not correctly post on the Reddit. And I just made a post, but it didn't link to anything. It was weird. It was a certified Joffrey moment. It's texting me. Ugh, work. Oh, but it's not even like the main work I like. It's like the crappy extra job I've got. It's the crappy extra job I've got just to grab a couple shifts every once in a while, and they're about pestering me. All right. Well, good good night to those who are going to sleep, and good day or whatever. Yes, to the rest of you. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye.